If he had lived through the assassination attempt, which actually happened, but if he had lived, would you have voted to re-elect him after like seeing what he was about and like starting to get to know what he wanted to do as president?
I wasn't as independent in my thinking in those days as I became later, but again, I'm trying to think who he ran against. You really make me want to go study history. But no, I probably would not have. I probably wouldn't have voted for him just because he wasn't on my party and the party I was voting for.
Yeah. Well, when you say you weren't as independent, did you more think of like see what your husband thought of and like kind of follow that as much?
Exactly. That is exactly what you did in those days. Yeah. You wouldn't say, well, I'm going to do differently. You know, you did the same thing. You talked about.
Yeah. So you just kind of carried on like somewhat of his opinion and.
Right. Yeah. My family. Remember how I grew up. Yes, that's probably. So it wasn't that he had made that dramatic a difference that I would have changed parties.
Okay. So for what reason, like in your opinion, do you think that Lee Harvey Oswald, which is the guy that shot him, had for shooting him? Like, do you think he had a grudge or like that he disagreed with him, or like what are your thoughts on that?
I think something. He was paid off as in what I think when he was associated. I think he went to visit Russia. I think he lived in Russia for a while. I think he married a Russian woman, and I think somehow he was kind of brainwashed or something, and probably paid. And he just didn't seem like a real smart guy. I just think there was more behind it, and it could have been having to do with the Bay of Pigs, where they were so afraid the Russians were going to occupy Cuba, and we were so close to our shores, and I think that Castro has something to do with it.
So you definitely think that like the leaders and like the people in Russia like kind of found a way to try to weaken our country so they could start getting moving closer.
Well, I think by Kennedy really intervened and kept that from being a real could have been a war at that point. I remember being very nervous about that. But that didn't happen. But I always felt that Castro maybe had a revenge motive, and we're going to get him. We're going to get him for that. And used Lee Harvey Oswald. So I don't think that he did that to himself.
What like do you feel that was like most frightening about like the fact that our president had been shot?
Well, at first that they might not know who did it, and that could have been from another country. Boy, when you think of the days before television, you didn't know everything. You gradually learned it, but it wasn't right there on your doorstep every single day. Even the newspapers.
So you just find out little by little.
Little by little you find out, or people would put these thoughts in your mind. And, now we know too much. We know everything, so then we worry about everything, and you can't do one darn thing about it. You still worry. So no, I don't think I was not that deeply into it.
So you were just kind of like you knew about it and that was concerning, but it didn't have like an actual, like, it didn't change anything in your, like, daily life?
No, I don't think it did. Why, we were secure and took everything for granted, certainly freedom and security and, well,
Yeah.
so someone out there is gonna take care of it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because I guess, like, did you just see our government as, like, all, like, knowing and they would take care of everything and you just had to keep doing what you had to do for you guys?
Yeah, especially when you were,
Yeah.
as children all in school
Mhm.
and you were concerned with their immediate day-by-day welfare, not the world, certainly.
Mhm.
Yes, that was, do your job at home and everything would be fine.
Yeah.
Boy, you're so innocent. Yeah, but that was a big thing, though. Kennedy's assassination was a big thing, because we did have hopes that would be, like before Obama was
Mhm.
elected, there was that high hopes. Here's the man
Yeah.
that's going to do it.
So do you have any final thoughts on anything or any more comments or?
About Kennedy
Mhm.
assassination. Well, I remember. Right now, I'm working on a story of my sister who was in Europe at that time, and I have all these letters that she wrote.
Really?
And she talks about how really, really sad it was for people in Europe.
That's really interesting.
They were in restaurants and the waiters were weeping. I mean, they had high hopes of America becoming more internationally sensitive, and she mentions it several times that how it affected people in Europe and themselves.
Yeah.
So far, they were far from home, but yeah, I mean, they thought Kennedy, they really, I don't know if they ever filed absentee ballots because they were mostly in Europe at that time, but the impression that she gave several letters about circumstances of running into people that were touched by that death.
Oh, that's really interesting. I'm glad that that you shared that.
Yeah, that's a little.
That's really cool that she was like there and able to see like a different perspective from like different people instead of just the people of like our country.
Oh, her husband was an orchestra conductor. I can't remember the piece that he played, but that night he did incorporate one piece of music to acknowledge the death of the president.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I have the letters. I could even look it up and call you before Monday, before you start writing.
I'll see if that can happen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
But
awesome.
it wouldn't be on your tape though.
Yeah.
You'd have to insert it.
We'll figure it out.
Okay.
Oh yeah. All right. Thank you so much for helping me out.
I thought it was going to be longer than that.